Welcome to the U.S. latest news channel. Watch the video to the end to find out the current and breaking news about the Russian war in Ukraine. Western countries are not holding back from providing the necessary support to Ukraine by imposing sanctions on Russia. Steps continue to be taken decisively in terms of equipment and weapons support. In the months when the war began, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky announced that 16,000 foreign volunteers would come to the country. It is also known that Zelensky made an address to the nation at the same time December. In this conversation, he stated that he received daily guarantees of weapons from his partners and true friends. The Ukrainian army has been carrying out a resistance for 8 months. In addition, during the months of the war, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson stated on his social media account that it was admirable that Ukrainian leader Zelensky defended his country so much. Recently, U.S. President Joe Biden held a telephone conversation with Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky. During the meeting, he announced that the United States will provide October $625 million in military aid to Ukraine. With this latest aid package, U.S. military aid has exceeded $17.5 billion since the war began. Another detail that attracts attention: in a phone conversation, President Biden today HIMARS artillery systems and ammunition, and additional weapons, including armored vehicles, including the provision of security assistance and a package that contains a new equipment $625 million defending itself against Russian aggression in Ukraine, vowed to continue supporting the process of expressions were used. The U.S. stated that 22 military aid packages have been sent to Ukraine since August 2021. Despite the fact that more than 200 days have passed since the war, the waters between the two sides do not stop decaying. In particular, the attacks coming from Russia, which are constantly increasing their severity, are reciprocated along with retaliatory attacks coming from Ukraine. The most critical and crucial point of the war is known as the use of technology. UAVs are of great importance, especially for aerial images and measures against moves that can be made in the future. Satellite-based images taken by UAVs from above, especially the measures taken by Russia and the visuals of the points where Ukraine has launched operations, prioritize the establishment of important plans that will change the course of the war, whose military ranks are at a high level. Although unmanned aerial vehicles for soldiers are rejected because they create an unfair combat environment, they are vital for the soldiers in the top institutions of the states. As events are of critical importance in this way, both sides continue to shoot down drones in order to block the images that will be taken from above. In recent days, dozens of drone pilots have been arrested and detained during espionage. At this point, both sides, which are militarily weakened, continue to suffer losses. Not only that, the military forces continue to shoot down drones with the help of anti-drone and automatic infantry rifles. Finally, the downing of a UAV from the Ukrainian side was reflected in the media, and it turned out that the ongoing wars in a military sense were also reflected in the airspace. According to the details of the news that occurred in the Kharkiv region, the Special Air Force received information that it shot down the Russian Typhoon Explorer unmanned aerial vehicle. Together with the help of unmanned aerial vehicles, the invaders were seizing the positions of the troops belonging to the Ukrainian army and making various moves that could be successful on the battlefield by acting earlier before an operation. Thanks to these moves made by the Ukrainian side in this process, it seems that Russia will suffer greatly as it loses its former power and begins to receive the news it received in advance in smaller numbers and qualities. Ukrainian SOF operators have once again proved to us their professional work, which is at the point of downing UAVs, and have not crushed themselves in the face of Russia by intimidation. By talking about the qualities of the Typhoon aircraft, let's examine how critically important these downing events are and how Russia has been deprived of power. Typhoon unmanned aerial vehicles are aircraft that can fly up to a distance of 40 kilometers and have the ability to conduct aerial reconnaissance throughout this range. They are known as aerial vehicles, which are extremely difficult to observe because they have an electric motor and occupy a small space. These aircraft, which can fly day and night regardless of the difference, are also resistant to various weather conditions. In addition, it can also be used in reconnaissance or fire extinguishing operations at infrared December. At the same time, they also have a separate importance since they have the function of a communication repeater. Thanks to the ability to record and repeat communications, they are informed of all kinds of information that enemy units are talking and communicating at that moment. It is stated that they used this for the purpose of collecting information in the later stages of the war. They are launched by means of a catapult. While falling to the ground, they also fall to the ground with minimal damage thanks to a parachute connected to the mechanism. It is of great importance that such an important technology can be obtained again without damage even after the war. It is said that the unmanned systems consist of 2 aircraft and carry a set of interchangeable attributes, payload modules. These useful modules are used to provide aerial shooting support by being activated in critical areas of the war. It has a ground station and portable catapult. We also need to address the physical dimensions and qualities of Tachyon UAVs. At this point, it is known that these vehicles have a wingspan of 2 meters. There is a maximum takeoff weight of 25 kilograms, 5 kilograms of which is a useful load. The biggest advantage of having such a light weight is that it has less maneuverability during flight and prevents any situation such as wing breakage, especially during momentary reflexive turns in the air in the following processes. At a maximum altitude of 4,000 kilometers and within a flight time of 2 hours, it reaches a speed of 65 to 120 kilometers. This value, on the other hand, is known as a speed value that many vehicles moving overland cannot reach today. One of the biggest features of these drones is that they can be modified in accordance with the technology. Thanks to this feature, rather than releasing a new model, they have a new usage volume with the addition of new technology October parts on the old model. If we list these tools, in addition to these renewable features, these parts also have the ability to be repaired again, especially after any damage they may receive after deterioration or war. For parts that have been repaired but still not repaired, replacement with new parts is possible. Renewable parts, in particular, will be designed to be renewed in the following processes and can be replaced even in the air, which will provide a great time and economic savings. It became known that Ukraine continues to inflict new damage on the Russian army every day. According to recent reports, there were reports that the Ukrainian army shot down a Russian Shahed-136 model plane in the Mykolaiv region. Kamikaze aircraft have the ability to self-destruct in the event of immediate danger. In addition to this quality, if the pilot flying in a sudden manner gives a remote control command, he can dive instantly to the area where he is flying and make an explosion that can cause great damage in that area. Thanks to this tool, inspired by a combat tactic used by Japanese soldiers and pilots in ancient times, it is used in desperate situations. However, this time Ukraine prevented the desired target from being reached by destroying it in the air without causing an explosion in this way. Images of the downing of this vehicle were shared on many media channels, especially social media tools and Telegram. It was reported that a 12.7mm heavy machine gun was used during the downing of an Iranian-made unmanned aerial vehicle, which the Russian invaders used to defeat objects in Ukraine. Whether the use of such large tools to shoot down a small aircraft in this way is a technical shortcoming or whether it will be interpreted by Ukraine as a reference to Russia and the Iranian army supporting it will become clear in the coming days. However, the loss in this process was again the downing of this unmanned aerial vehicle used by Russian soldiers. It has the ability to receive images from a distance and satellite, to escape from all kinds of fire of armies thanks to its speed, as well as to support all kinds of wars. The fact that it was shot with a machine gun once again proved that not only did it guide the methods that would be used later in the war, but also that all plans should not be made by relying on air vehicles. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to be informed of the developments at the speed of light.